Well, I think probably the first thing I would say is don't panic. And I suppose panic's a kind of natural human reaction when you're faced with a situation that's maybe not necessarily of your making. I think, you have to remember, and it's very difficult to give generic advice because no two separations are the same. There are always different personalities at play, different dynamics, different assets, different issues, different reasons for the breakdown of the marriage. And it's, all of these factors will have an impact on what the advice that would be given to you. But don't panic, because you will not be the first person, you will not be the last person to go through this. And actually, I think Scotland's really well equipped with lots of people who are able to help you guide you through that process, whether it's solicitors, whether it's counsellors as well, and other professionals, financial advisors, for example. I think just my first piece of advice would probably just say be practical, focus on what you can control, because there's a whole lot of stuff out there you can't control, and just trying to get small tangible things that you can feel, right, I'm taking a positive step, would be from my perspective quite a useful way forward. Make a list. I'm a big list fan anyway, but it'll come as no surprise, but make a list of, for example, your income, what you need to spend on a monthly basis. Look at the practicalities. Have you got a shortfall? What kind of financial support are you going to need? But it just helps clarify, actually what the issues are, how urgent things are then. Is it the case that you're not going to be able to pay your bills at the end of the month? Right, okay, that might mean you need to seek legal advice sooner rather than later. So make a list of your income and expenditure. Also, just take notes about what you know or what you think you know about each of your financial positions. Now, there's quite often the case that people will come in to see me or colleagues or across the profession saying, I'm really embarrassed, I just don't know. I never had to deal with any of that. That's fine. It's really not an uncommon situation, but just jotting down what you know at that time about income positions, about what assets there are, what pensions there are, what debts there are. It's not everybody that's in the fortunate position of having assets to share. It might be the pain of, oh my gosh, right, we've got all these debts to pay. How are we going to pay those? Are they all in my name? Panic stations. But just write it down. And that also, it's a tangible thing that you can do to try and help feel you're doing something constructive. But as and when you do come and speak to a lawyer or a mediator, whoever, you've also made the start and in gathering that information that's going to be needed. And if you can, and if it's safe to do that, I would say try and find a safe space to have a conversation about what the care arrangements are going to be for the kids. It might well be something that you've talked about and, agreed between you before you've even got to the decision to separate. But as I say, the dynamics of separations are often, sadly, quite traumatic, and that's just not been a pre-planned situation. It doesn't need to be what's going to happen in the long term about the kids. It can be a plan for a week, for a fortnight, for a month. And that's absolutely fine. But again, just giving you both a bit of certainty about what's going to happen. If you can't find that safe space, if you don't feel it's comfortable to talk about it, look at the online resources that there are. The Family Law Association website's a really good starting place. Look at Relationship Scotland website as well, has a load of information about the services they can offer, particularly in relation to child-centred mediation. And then I suppose probably inevitably I'd say find a lawyer, and don't think that just because you're seeking legal advice that you're automatically going to be pushed down a road, that you're going to end up in a massive contested bun fight of a litigation. We often have clients who just want to come in and find out what the lie of the land is, and it just helps them make an informed decision about how they go forward, either in terms of processes, about whether they go back and speak to their spouse or former partner, just about what to do. A good family lawyer is not going to object to you sharing what they have told you with the other side as well. And so I think just, it's finding someone that you are comfortable to have a chat with, that you feel is approachable, that you're not intimidated by, but just someone who's going to be able to properly inform you and you feel is going to trust, you can trust, to be able to get advice specific to your situation and guide you through the process.